Hey everyone, it's the Yellow Chili, and we're back with another episode of Let's Play Empyrion Galactic Survival. We are on our way to find a location for the base that we're about to build, and in order to do this, off camera, I went a little further ahead and spotted a new location that I like a little better than the old one, which is exactly on the equator. And that will enable us to use solar power pretty well. Now, as we discovered earlier, the orientation of solar panels is quite important to get the most out of that. So settling on the equator on almost any planet in Empyrion will guarantee you that you can just build flat solar panels, and you will get close to the maximum of solar power that you can get at all. So this is the spot I chose. It is also in a little bit of a green biome. There's this one larger lake to the left of us. There's another smaller lake to the right of us. There's a couple trees, a couple plants, even some animals. So it looks like a quite lively area on this otherwise very, very dry planet. So yeah, we're gonna undock our HV first, so we can get the SV down to Earth and turn everything off, because we want to save energy. So let's see, I didn't even remember to turn that off when I docked it. But anyways, we can turn it off now. And now that we've undocked it, we will put this thing down too. Now obviously this won't dock to anything because we don't have a base yet. But we are pretty much prepared to build a base from scratch, which we're going to do right about now. The thing in Empyrion is, once you build a base or take over a POI and you change it from public to private, the Xerox will start attacking you. So there's two ways we can play this. We could either start the base, set it to public for as long as we want to. We just have to be careful when modifying it, because if you set it to public, you will only get the parts and not the real blocks back if you attempt to modify it. But I am very tempted to just make it a real private base right now. The Xerox attacks won't start until you turn the base on. So we might just leave it off for a little while and then turn it on shortly before we have like base defense in place. So let's access the ship. Oh, see, we still have the constructor on us because we were unable to fly with the constructor in our cargo hold. Well, what we're going to do right now is we don't have a base starter available, I believe. Does the HV have one? Alright, we picked up all these plants. They will be a great addition. We will start farming quite soon as well. But we do not have a base starter. Now, in order to make the base starter, we need a couple of components. We could just grab electronics and computers and all that kind of stuff, but I am quite tempted to just grab some copper, grab some iron and silicon. Since we don't have very much of it, I might just grab the electronics as well, and the cobalt alloy, and also maybe some steel plates that we could put in the small constructor, and then we'll just start making a base starter, because this is something you can do with a small constructor. Now, why can we not access the toolbar? We can do this here, but apparently we can't put stuff from the toolbar in here. Okay, we'll just do it this way. We'll just put all of this into our inventory, and then we'll put it into the constructor. I know you can put stuff from the toolbar, even from the connected toolbar, into the factory, but apparently this doesn't seem to be the case for the constructor. We can make a base starter because we can make a core. Why can't we make a core? We need computer optical fibers. Yes, we forgot to add something very important that you need for everything, which is not a rare resource. You need plant fibers, because these are required to make. I put them in the toolbar again. And by the way, we're going to need carbon substrate is made of plant fibers and of stone dust. So either you add plant fibers and stone dust, or just a carbon substrate right away. Now we can make we cannot make a core yet, so we're going to add that too. We can still not make a core. Why can't we make computers? I wonder. Okay, let's make a couple of computers. Well, I don't think we're going to need 10, but we need 5. This is always a good way. If a constructor doesn't let you build something and you wonder why, just start making all the parts, and then at some point you will be able to see what you can't make, and then you can specifically add the stuff that you need to have in order to make all the parts for it. All right. Now apparently, oh, we could only make 4 computers. We're missing electronics. In order to make electronics, we can make electronics, but only 1. We need more copper and silicon. Now, we do have copper and silicon right here. There's silicon, we don't need this much. I think 15 will probably do. Why 15? Because all the ores, you need 5 or 10 or 15 in order to be able to make ingots of them, which means from those you can make the parts. So now we should be able to make the core. We are. Great. As you can see, the constructor took 5 copper and 5 silicon ore to make ingots out of that. And we still have 10 left. We'll just leave it in here. Maybe we need to build something else. We're also going to want to put rock or stone dust or something in there because we need that to make concrete blocks. Now 208 is not that much. We can get some stone dust out of it, which is required to make the blocks. And I'm not sure what the ratio is. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. We'll just start making them, and if we run out, then we'll just farm for more rocks. In fact, we could actually check if there's any rocks lying around here while the constructor is busy building the core. It doesn't seem there are many lying around, and I just realized we have stuff in the fridge. So let's turn this thing back on and just disable the thrusters because we don't want our stuff to go bad. Yeah, we have quite a lot here. We'll have some grilled steak. And just in case you know, I have been playing the experimental Alpha 12 of Empyrion, and they changed a few things. Steak only gives you 60 food from now on, but that's just a minor change. The most important change, in my opinion, is the galaxy map. Now, looking at the galaxy map here, you will have one system basically with a central star and a lot of planets that are connected via these warp lanes. This no longer exists in Alpha 12. In Alpha 12 you do not need warp lanes anymore to go between places. We haven't done that in this Let's Play, and we'll get to that. The general method of travel is still the same, so the mechanics are very, very similar, but the map has changed a lot, and I do like the new additions. I was originally planning on making this converting this save game to Alpha 12, and I was experimenting with a few different things. First of all, I tried loading it into the experimental version, which was not much of a success. Even though they said they were going to make a legacy mode, I do not think it's still planned at the time, but we will see. Then also what I was thinking about, I could have created a new game and just used the item menu and the blueprint spawn to give us back the ship and all the items we had, but that would have been a huge hassle to get everything back. And I think we're just going to play this Let's Play as far as we can get with the current version. And once Alpha 12 stable comes out, then we might just start a new Let's Play, because the rest of the basics we can explain in a new Let's Play. Alright, we have a core, and we want to make a base starter, obviously. So let's wait until that's finished. There's the base starter. Alright, the base starter is basically just a core that you can place almost anywhere on terrain. it needs to be put down on terrain. You can move it around using the page up, page down. Sorry, not page up, page down key. The end key and page up and page down will move it up and down. But you're gonna want to be careful, because if you move it up too far, like this, first of all, you can't construct it here. But if you move it up too far, where it's up in the air, it might just break, like blocks that are floating in the air, because that's when the structural integrity starts to kick in, and then your core will instantly be destroyed. And since you can't get cores back, you will just get the parts. So that's not a good option. I am thinking we might, we are going to build this base close to the water, and we might build it into this mountain a little bit, because that'll make it protected from the Xerx attacks. And I'm very tempted to use the drill to drill a hole in here. So the mountain really starts here. Let's just take a peek over the top. Yeah, from here on the terrain is pretty flat, but pretty at the same level at least, so we can basically easily dig underneath. So we're just going to do that. We're going to dig a hole here. And it's not so bad that we cannot... I usually have a hard time staying at the same level. So this will be a bit bumpy, but it doesn't matter, because we're gonna have to build a floor made of concrete blocks anyways, and we should actually use the constructor to get the concrete blocks to manufacture, because we want to make this base airtight. Radiated fog does occur. Oh shoot, we can't take the constructor on us. We can't take all of this on us anyways. Yeah, we'll just leave it in here. Radiated fog does occur, like in the irradiated areas, and we do not want to be outside when that kicks in. We do have a suit. We are sort of immune when we are wearing this suit, but it's not pleasant either. I really like being inside. I think I said this in the first episode. It sort of adds some atmospheric ambience stuff to this game. So yeah, we're going to try to stay inside while there is radiated fog. And it is generally a good idea to seal your base for various reasons, because you might want to save your base as a blueprint. And if you spawn it on a planet that doesn't have an atmosphere, you will be prepared, because then you can just add a fan and an oxygen tank, and you will be able to breathe in your base, which you will not if the base is not airtight. So let's dig this out a little more. And whoops, I just spawned the drone. It doesn't really matter where you put the core at first, because you can always remove it and then replace it. So this isn't a big hassle. I will show you that later. We might even move the core later on. So yeah. Alright, this should be enough for now. Maybe a little more, because we do want to fit the constructor inside our base too. And the constructor is 2 blocks high, so we don't want to make a base that is just 1 block high up. But we also can't go too high, because we don't want to get to the surface, because the point of this is to protect the base, to have generators and constructors inside this hole. So if there is a Xerx attack, and if they do start shooting at us and we're not quick enough defending our base, then at least the important stuff will be safe from their attack. Okay, we're going to put down the base starter here for now, or maybe up here. Yeah, we'll just put it down here. So we do want to build underneath the core, because if we build on the same level as the core, we won't be able to... the core will be part of the wall that we're building, of the flooring, and we don't want that to happen. We want the core to be sealed off completely from any outside influence. How many of these can we carry? We can carry 50. That's not too shabby. Yeah, usually I have a lot more stuff in my inventory, and with that, you usually can't carry many things. Now, about base construction. Everything you construct has to be attached to a base. Now, attached by default means it has to touch an existing block of the base. Now, if I want to build here, I can't do that because then it would be one block to the side and one block down. I could build underneath, but in order for the game to realize that I'm building underneath, I'd have to sort of from underneath aim at the core, and then it will put the block right there. There's a trick you can do if you want to build your base and not have to, you know, build a block and then one to the side, one down. You can immediately build anywhere you like within the range of the base. You can aim at the base, press N, and then select Connect to Base. This way you will let the game know, okay, I am still building this base, and regardless of where and what I'm placing, I can just place it anywhere I like. So now I can start building anywhere. It'll also be perfectly aligned with the base. As you can see, the blocks will move exactly one block further to the side. So we can now just start there. We want a block there, and obviously we want to place a huge number of blocks. This would be very tedious if there weren't some help functions. If you want to draw a line, you can just click, hold at the place where you want to start the line, and then you can hold Control. You can just draw over here. That will make a line, and then if you hold Control, you can actually make a square or a rectangle or whatever. So we're going to do that. I'm holding Control right now. If I release Control, it'll jump back to that because you cannot draw a diagonal line. The game won't let you do that. Now, back to Control, then you can draw a, in this case, a rectangle. And then releasing it will place blocks everywhere you can. Now in this case we weren't very successful, as you guys can see. If the game doesn't place a block, it usually means there's something in the way. In this case we know exactly what's in the way. It's the remains of the mountain we just partly took away. So once you dig that out, try this again, you will have blocks in many more places. Now you don't always need to dig it out completely because you still want the blocks to be attached to the ground. Which also gives the base some stability, right, for structural integrity. So we still couldn't place anything here. We couldn't place anything here, and this is too high. I mean, this is really just too high. So we can't place any blocks here. We're just going to dig it out a little more. We have to be careful though because we're already close to the water. No, we're quite a little bit higher, so that's nice. Water is a very funny phenomenon in Empyrion, and building in water I really don't recommend. There are a few tricks and tweaks. You could technically build an underwater base, but I do not recommend this for beginners, and if you really want to do this, I suggest you join a server and ask somebody who's done it, and they will probably be very happy to show you. From what I've experienced from online play, everybody's very, very friendly and very, very interested in helping players that are new to the game. So you might actually learn something there. You don't have to play single player before you play multiplayer. You can join servers immediately, and like I said, people will be very happy to help you. We don't have to switch. I keep switching between the connected container, but we don't have these blocks in a container. So we're just going to continue making this platform here, and as you can see, you don't have to remove all of the ground that's underneath. Sometimes you will retain small pieces. Now if I were to just dig this, I could, but then there's the danger of a hole forming underneath these blocks, and if that happens and I have something heavy on top of this, for instance a tower or something, or like a turret stand or something, then that might collapse. In order to just drill away a little piece, you can use the fine drill, which you aim at the piece you want to remove. It takes very long. Just keep holding at it. And then once it's gone, you will start hitting the block underneath and you will hear that. It sounds like this. And it will tell you cannot damage the target with this weapon. So once that has happened, you know that this little pieces away, and now you can put the drill away and refocus on building your base. Oh, now we're suffocating again. Good thing we still have oxygen. And I must thank the game for this reminder, because we do have something we need to get out, which is the oxygen generator. We really want that to be out and producing oxygen. We are not exactly short. We have these 20 bottles here. We still have more for our vessel, so we could, if worst comes to worst, just jump in and breathe in there. But we really wanna keep that oxygen generator going. Oh, we have it in our toolbar, so let's place it here. Now, if this happens to you, you want to place something that usually goes on the ground and you cannot place it. It happens because you forgot to turn off attach to base. If you try placing it, it says the device cannot be connected to a base. That means just disable this and you will be able to place it again. Now, this one needs energy again, so we're just going to get that from our cargo hold. So let's see if we have any energy left over, which I really do hope. Container control, do we not have any energy left? I may be blind. Do we have any in the HV? We have more oxygen. That's good to know. See, there's energy. I knew we had, and there's more oxygen too. So let's just put all of this into this guy, and we do have promethium. That means we can start working on fuel cells. Actually, we could do that right away, because this guy he's not. We only have 50 blocks. We're going to want him to use more. To get more blocks for us, because we really need more. And we're also gonna want to start building glass windows, because we are placing a glass front here, which is gonna look very nice. So let's continue with the platform first. Okay, we need to dig a hole here. For this, you could also use the fine drill, but as you see, this goes very, very slowly. So for one block, I usually just use the regular drill, and then most of the time you'll be able to place it. All right. We need more blocks. And while doing this, you guys are most likely already realizing that this portable constructor has a few advantages that a base constructor doesn't have. The largest one being it does not run on energy, so you can make a great deal of things with a portable constructor, like promethium pellets also that you're going to need throughout the game, and also building materials. So the portable constructor is always a viable option to just leave it outside your base somewhere, and you can always use it for some basic crafting without straining your base's energy. Now, while this is not so important in the late game, because energy is most of the time in abundance, in the early game this can actually save you a lot of promethium pellets and a lot of fuel cells. So just consider it, and it might help. Alright, so now we are going to want to press this attach thing again, because now, whoops, this didn't work out. Did I place a block there? Yeah, I placed a block in the corner, I believe. Didn't want to do that, but that's fine. Actually, we do want to do that because we want to make the base airtight, so we're going to have to dig around here anyways. And we're going to make the space exactly 2 2 blocks high, so we can place almost anything that we are going to want. There are a few things that require a height of 3. That is, for instance, the furnace. The furnace is very handy when it comes to refining resources. But other than that, I would say 2 is, for the most part of the game, enough. And we can always extend like one part of the base in order to fit in the furnace. So we'll do with 2 here. Alright, we got 40 more blocks. I think we really do want this guy to make more. We have enough crushed stone, so let's just add another 100. While we're at it, get some oxygen. Now, what I did not consider, I said we're going to make it too high, so that means we're not going to stop at 2. We need 3, because since we want to make it airtight, the base basically has to be surrounded. You could leave out the corners, but that would lead to decreased stability, and I don't want to do that. Because then once you dig something out, you will be in somewhat of a danger that your base might not hold the weight. So just make sure that every block is attached to some other block, especially blocks that are floating up in the air, not floating, but are, you know, in a higher position. So if you make sure that they are, then you are very likely, you will not run into many problems. Now, sometimes you can build blocks where you don't expect them to be able to be built, but then at other times you would say, hey, there's clearly no obstacle in the way, and why can't I place this block? That's just the way the game works. And if that happens, just dig something out, fill something in. We discussed the filler function of the drill earlier on. So yeah, it is an early access game, so don't expect everything to run perfectly. And most of the time, though, there are workarounds. Like, you don't have to, if something doesn't work the way you want it, just try doing the same thing using a different method, and most of the time it'll work. So just as a reminder, if you already forgot, we're using the control key to, if you just want to draw, you don't need to use anything, you can just draw. And if you hold control, you can make large fields of blocks. Okay, this isn't all that large. I really hope that we're not going up too high here. No, it doesn't seem like it. So we only have 1 block left. We're going to want to get more. But we're close to the end of the episode. I will let this constructor finish the blocks, and I will see how many we get out of this. I'm thinking we might even want to get 100 more. And if there's not enough, I will probably off camera just farm some stone to get more crushed stone for the concrete blocks, and then I will see you in the next episode when we are continuing this base building. We're going to finish the ceiling in the next episode, and we're also going to want to do some painting. We have a color tool available. So we're going to make this base nice looking. We will have a small living area. There will be a corner with the constructor and with cargo boxes. We have volume enabled. Mass is not available yet in this version, but we have volume enabled, so we're going to need a lot of storage space, and we might have to dig down another story in order to fit in all the cargo boxes for every resource we can gather. But that is not a priority at the moment. Right now, we just want to get the base running, which is what we're going to be doing in the next episode. See you then. Bye-bye.